While we use our voices to transmit verbal messages, a lot of information is simultaneously conveyed through our mannerisms, gestures, and posture. Let's understand the role of gestures in communication. So, what is a gesture? A gesture is a movement of a part of your body. Although we can make gestures with our heads and shoulders, or even our legs and feet, we mostly use our hands and arms to gesture. Gestures can be independent of speech or related to speech. What we mean by this is that gestures can be used to convey a specific message by replacing speech. For example, gesturing for someone to stop at a distance. Gestures may also accompany our speech, serving to enhance or emphasize the message we wish to communicate. Like many forms of body language, gestures may be spontaneous or deliberate. In this section, we will look at three common types of gestures used in everyday communication: symbolic, descriptive, and emotional gestures. Symbolic gestures are usually deliberate and are used to send specific signals or messages. Symbolic gestures can be used to communicate positions, numbers, or words. We often point to signal directions, such as up, down, left, or right. Putting an index finger to your mouth indicates be quiet. Holding up 2 fingers signals the number 2, 3 fingers the number 3, and so forth. Symbolic gestures may be common across cultures, such as the thumbs up sign to indicate good, or nodding your head to indicate acknowledgement. Alternatively, symbolic gestures may be culture specific, like folding your hands in front of your chest or bowing as a sign of respect in some Asian countries. Descriptive gestures, on the other hand, are used to communicate a specific idea, describe, or clarify a verbal message. They are purposeful and help the audience understand comparisons or visual shapes, sizes, and distances. Using your arms or hands to create a shape is a descriptive gesture, as is spreading our fingers or hands to indicate a distance or length. Emotional gestures indicate our thoughts and feelings. For example, a clenched fist may indicate anger or frustration, while rubbing your forehead may indicate stress or tension. Have you ever clasped your hands tightly when pleading for a deadline extension? This is also an emotional gesture. Emotional gestures are mostly spontaneous, although they can be deliberate, like putting your hand on someone's shoulder as a sign of reassurance or hugging them to show affection. Like other forms of body language, it is important to be aware of our gestures and the messages that they convey. Gestures can be used to enhance communication, but they can also be distracting if they are repetitive, inappropriate, or exaggerated. Here are some handy tips to keep in mind. Be observant, be purposeful, and most of all, be natural. Consciously observe the gestures you make, particularly when facing an audience, in a meeting, or in a professional setting. Many of us subconsciously engage in nervous gestures when under pressure, like clicking a pen repetitively, and this can be very annoying or distracting. If you notice this, make a concerted effort to address it, which could start with something very simple, like using a pen without a click element, or consciously putting down your pen when you finish writing. In this regard, it's also very helpful to observe those around you. Notice how gestures enhance or detract from a message. Can you relate to any of the gestures you notice around you? What signals do they give off? Aligning your gestures to your verbal message will make them more meaningful. Your actions should complement your words and suit the occasion. If you are performing on stage and want to encourage everyone to clap along, your gestures should reflect this mood and the excitement. In this context, it is better for your gesture to be exaggerated so that those far away from the stage can see. Like we discussed with facial expressions, gestures that are not aligned with your message may negatively impact your communication. If you consciously pay attention to gesture alignment, it will soon come naturally. Now, although this may contradict what we have just discussed, it's very important to be yourself and be genuine. Don't try to force any gestures that don't feel right, as this will draw a lot of unwanted attention. It is important that you're comfortable. At the end of the day, gestures reflect our personality, and what's right for someone else may not suit you.